Children disappearing, livestock slaughtered, and fields burned to ashes. The next morning, they gathered at the king's compound, their faces etched with worry and sorrow. "Your Majesty," cried one woman, her eyes red with tears, "my husband and sons went to gather firewood and have not returned. We fear the beast has taken them." The villagers, driven by fear and desperation, threatened to abandon the village entirely. "We will leave Nyambil for you, Your Majesty," they cried. "We cannot stay and watch our loved ones die." Once upon a time in the vibrant kingdom of Nyambil, there ruled a wise king named Kofi. As the end of his reign approached, tradition dictated that his younger brother, Kojo, should ascend the throne. However, King Kofi broke this ancient custom and declared that his own son, Prince Abina, would be the next king instead. Kojo, feeling deeply betrayed and unjustly denied his rightful place, harbored a burning resentment towards his brother. Driven by a desire for vengeance and power, Kojo sought out a feared native doctor named Okot, known for his mastery of dark and forbidden magic. Together, they invoked a spirit in the form of a terrifying beast, hoping to force King Kofi to relent and pass the throne to Kojo. The beast that emerged was a monstrous creature with fiery eyes and scales harder than iron. It began its reign of terror over Nyambil, destroying crops, drying up rivers, and bringing death and despair. The once thriving kingdom descended into chaos, with the beast tormenting everyone, including the king and his court. One dreadful night, the beast stormed the palace, its eyes blazing like molten lava. It tore through the gates and rampaged through the grand halls, injuring many maidens and killing 2 brave guards who stood in its path. The palace, once a symbol of safety and prosperity, became a place of horror and bloodshed. In desperation, the villagers and King Kofi sought help from every corner. They consulted wise elders, offered sacrifices, and held numerous prayer ceremonies, but nothing could stop the beast. Even when a decree was issued for the young men to fight the creature with machetes and weapons, they were swiftly defeated, many losing their lives and others fleeing in terror. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. The beast's terror became a constant, grim presence in their lives. It would appear each day at a set time, and also at night whenever it saw a light. The villagers, gripped by fear, stayed indoors, too afraid to farm or hunt. Starvation loomed as their food supplies dwindled. Each day brought a new horror story. Children disappearing, livestock slaughtered, and fields burned to ashes. One afternoon, a group of villagers went into the forest to gather firewood, hoping to avoid the beast's set time of appearance. They never returned. As the sun set and darkness fell, their families grew anxious. The next morning, they gathered at the king's compound, their faces etched with worry and sorrow. Wailing and crying, they begged King Kofi to do something before they all lost their lives. "Your Majesty," cried one woman, her eyes red with tears, "my husband and sons went to gather firewood and have not returned. We fear the beast has taken them." Tensions reached a boiling point. The villagers, driven by fear and desperation, threatened to abandon the village entirely. "We will leave Nyambil for you, your majesty," they cried. "We cannot stay and watch our loved ones die." Amidst this chaos, Kojo, the king's brother, arrived at the palace with a group of elders, pretending to show concern. "Brother," he said, his voice laden with false sincerity, "we must find a solution. Let us all work together to save our kingdom." His words were a mere camouflage, concealing his true intentions and the dark secret he harbored. King Kofi, overwhelmed and desperate, agreed to Kojo's proposal. They redoubled their efforts, seeking help from distant lands and performing elaborate rituals, but the beast's fury only intensified. People whispered of curses and dark magic, and suspicion and fear began to erode the unity of the village. Kojo, meanwhile, continued to perform rituals to keep the beast under his control. However, as time passed, he became lax and wasn't performing the rituals to the beast as he always does. A signal was sent to him several times and warnings to keep up with the rituals, but he never met up. The beast, sensing his weakness, turned against him. One night, as Kojo slept, the beast entered his home, its eyes glowing with malevolent fury. Despite Kojo's attempts to appease it, the beast tore him apart, leaving his mangled body as a grim warning to all who dared to play with dark forces. The beast became more angry and killed even more souls. In the dead of night, the beast would howl, its cries echoing through the empty streets, sending shivers down the spines of all who heard it. Fires broke out mysteriously, consuming homes and leaving families homeless. It became clear that the beast was not just a physical threat but a manifestation of evil itself. In their darkest hour, King Kofi and his advisors sought the help of a renowned native doctor named Oma. Oma was revered for her deep knowledge of the spirit world and her ability to counter dark magic. After days of rituals and consultations with the ancestors, Oma discovered the root of their torment. She said to them, "Your Highness, the beast was a manifestation of Kojo's vengeful spirit, bound to a calabash pot buried in a hidden location. You deprived him his right of becoming the next king of the land, rather you declared that your son would rule instead of him." He got angry and sought a means to make your remaining days on the throne a miserable one. The king, at hearing that, tore his cloth in remorse. But it was late, the damages has already been done, and Kojo, his brother, is dead already. Guided by Oma, King Kofi and a group of brave warriors ventured deep into the forest, facing many dangers along the way. They encountered venomous snakes, treacherous swamps, and eerie whispers of spirits trying to lead them astray. The journey tested their courage and resolve, but eventually, they found the calabash pot buried beneath an ancient baobab tree. Following Oma's precise instructions, they performed the necessary rites and shattered the pot. As the pot broke, the beast let out a final, deafening roar and vanished in a burst of light. The land began to heal, rivers flowed again, crops started to grow, and the kingdom slowly returned to its former glory. The people of Nyambil, though scarred by their ordeal, emerged stronger and more united. King Kofi, humbled by the ordeal, ruled with renewed wisdom and compassion, ensuring that the well-being of his people was always his foremost concern. Prince Abina grew up to be a just and beloved ruler, carrying forward the lessons learned from the dark times. However, the echoes of the past lingered. The people of Nyambil knew they must remain vigilant, for the balance between the mortal and spirit worlds was delicate. And so, the kingdom stood ready to face whatever challenges the future might bring, their hearts united and their spirits strong.